Hey, we're back. That's what I like to say. We're back because it feels like we never leave here. We love it so much, bringing this show every day. Yes, it's Wednesday. Went with the sweatshirt. Now, I know usually out of 30 days, I hit, 28 of them. I, wear the sport coat and everything. FYN, the new logo is right here. Fetch your news. The new logo is right here. We even have it on sweatshirts. It looks awesome. So it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Get off my back. I just wanted to wear the sweatshirt. It is pouring. It's raining cats and dogs up here in North Georgia, right? Google where that came from. What the heck? Anyhow, it's raining cats and dogs in North Georgia. It's raining. It's a rainy night in Georgia. It's raining all over the world, right? So I'm your host, BKP. That's how you find us. That's how you follow the show. And it is snowing. Hey, here's the damnedest thing. It's snowing in Colorado. I love the news, right? They got nothing to do this morning. So they make up a couple quick impeachment things that, we'll say impeach this and impeach that. And we'll make that up. Then we'll throw in it's snowing in Colorado and out there in the plains. It's the interstates are closed in Kansas. I mean, well, what do you know? So it's going to be quite a difficult over the river and through the woods to grandma's house you go if you're traveling. So be careful out there. It really is. Weather reports all over the United States. High wind gusts, snow, rain, you name it, causing delays at all the airports. Many of you opted to drive. Okay, millions will be on the road because, gas is except for in California. We cannot help you like in California and New York City. We can't do nothing for you. We're sorry. You brought it on yourself. Look who you elected. But, basically you got your gas at $2.05, $2.49, $2.89. We're not over the $3 mark. And when it hits over $3, everybody starts sweating it. But we're in that mid $2.50 range, right? So holiday travel's affordable. Hey, tomorrow, Friday is the big Black Friday, right? That's Friday. Tomorrow's Turkey Day. Today is just lounge around Wednesday. We got 2 hours. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about this morning, okay? We're going to continue the discussion because it was exposed yesterday, and I started getting sources early in the afternoon. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of times I tell you, the audience, I don't have no inside scoop. I don't. I mean, we're not the big show. We're not Rush. We're not the great one, Mark Levin. I would never try to be the great one, Mark Levin. Anyhow, we don't have that going on at this time. So I don't have the insider information that some of these talk show hosts or the bigger programs have. But, and we go on intuition here a lot of times. We read together. We're a together audience. We work together. But this one I have some inside sources. Because, you see, I have been in the 9th district of Georgia now, right at 20 years. Close to 20 years I've been in the 9th district. I don't know the entire district, but I got a pretty good, I know a lot of people in the district. Almost, 19 counties? I don't know. I hope I didn't get that right. But most of the GOP chair, I know them. I know a lot of the people in the 9th. Let's just leave it there. So sources say that, and I'm going to paraphrase because we're going to have somebody come on and break it down for us that actually knows what's going on. But sources say, number one, that Governor Brian Kemp slipped out to the airfield with number 3, Kelly Loeffler, his pick for Senate, okay, and went back, go to number 1, and flew up over the weekend to see Mr. Trump. And he went in and tried to get Mr. Trump's blessing, the President of the United States of America's blessing, on his Senate pick. Now look, Trump's not that kind of guy. And I am going to caution myself, caution BKP, on going too far. But I have to ask, what the hell is Governor Brian Kemp thinking? Okay? Who is? Sorry, Governor. Who's pulling his strings? Who's in his ear? Who says this is a great idea? Now, let me say the pick belongs to the governor of Georgia. That is our state constitution, that the Georgia state constitution, upon the retirement of a senator, not House of Representatives, not a House member, but upon the retirement, number 9, Johnny Isakson, will be former senator at December 31st. Johnny, right there, is leaving. So upon his retirement, back to 1, Governor Kemp, by the Georgia State Constitution, has every right to appoint the next senator to fill the term until an election can be held, which will be 2020. Now, that being said, I don't want to get into broken record syndrome. I love Sean Hannity. I love Sean. So don't yell at me. But every night, Sean's got breaking news, and when it's over, you got to tune in tomorrow night, which is good for him. But anyhow, so number 7, Doug Collins, is the 9th Congressional District Congressman Doug Collins. Put in his resume early on, applied for the job early on, all right? Now, and I want to throw this out here because we got a lot of questions. Georgians need to ask some questions here. Now, back to 1, I guess. There's Congressman Collins that the president has endorsed. President has endorsed Congressman Collins. But let's start all over. Johnny Isakson announces his retirement. The governor comes out, and early on, this was applauded by okay, he's not going to be an establishment guy. Now listen to this close, okay? So after Isakson's retirement, Kemp is not going to be an establishment guy. He's not just going to go behind closed doors and dark-filled, smoke-filled rooms and cut deals like Rob Blagojevich out there in Illinois that's in prison. And he's not going to sell this seat. He's not going to do anything underhanded. He's going to come to the people. He's a man of the people. So if you watching this program this morning, as long as you are of legal age and legal resident of Georgia, the appropriate amount of time, whatever the rules may be, you could apply to be the next senator. I mean, early on, he was applauded for his move. Radio talk show host Martha Zoller applied. Okay? I know Martha, I like her. Now, I'm not endorsing. I'm just saying, you got Jan Jones applied. Other business leaders applied. Congressman Doug Collins, 500. Let's just go with this number. 500 applications, right? And for some reason, number 3, as the application window was closing, Kelly Loeffler knew to submit her resume. The window's like this, and she slides it under the door just in time. I'm sorry, something doesn't add up here. Something smells. In fact, I think there should be an investigation into this pick. I think Brian Kemp should be under investigation at this time for this pick, because what you're telling me is all the other 499 never stood a chance. Never stood a chance. What you're telling me is it was bogus from the beginning. The day you made the announcement, it was bogus. The day you put on the website, apply here to be senator, it was bogus. A lot of people wasted their time. A lot of people were hopeful that you would be a governor of the people, like President Trump is the president of the people. That was the hopes we had. I am not endorsing. I am not supporting. I am not asking you to pick Congressman Doug Collins. That's not my job. What I think today, Mr. Governor, is you ran a sham application process knowing this was your pick. Because let me say something about when you apply for something. You know, you got your references, so you go out and check your references, right? And then you have all of your resume there, and you start vetting the individual. Start going through the background, vetting the individual, call the individual in and do interviews. Let me tell you something. When they pick a judge, all right? When they pick a judge, you have the Judicial Qualifications Commission or whatever, all right? And if you're in a district in the state of Georgia or a judicial district, you can fill out an application. You can send it in and say, I'd like to be considered judge. Then a 9-panel, a 5-panel, or a 6-panel, I don't know how the hell it works, how many numbers, they get together and they go through everybody and they whittle it down to like 2 or 3 that they feel are the best candidates. And then those candidates, they all get an interview. And then those candidates, after the interview, they, get moved over to the governor's office for consideration. The governor interviews the candidates. Then the governor makes a decision. Now, it appears to look fair. Just say that. Let's not go down the road of some judges that have been picked. It appears to look fair. It appears that everything is done to give everybody a chance that wants to be a judge, qualified judge in the state of Georgia, every opportunity right up to an interview with the governor. I would like to know, would somebody tell me, put up the phone number real quick. Can you tell me what the process was? Now you're going to say, go to the website and you can read it. Now there's 500. Were there many interviews? Were there finalists? Did we get to, out of 500, did we narrow it down to 100? Did we have a whole team? Can the state of Georgia, can the citizens see the names on the team that vetted all the resumes? Can we see the entire staff? Can we get from the governor, your resume came in, no matter who you are, and it went in the stack. And then these 9 people started sorting through and putting names together that would be qualified candidates. And then they went here, and then the governor interviewed them. Can we get any kind of process? Or, number 7, is that her again? Try 7 again. Is that her? Put 7 up. Nope, that's Doug Collins. He interviewed. I'm looking for Kelly. There she is, number 3. Okay. So, are you telling me that she put her application in on the final day? I think it was the final day. Are you telling me when she put her application in, Kemp was surprised? Wow, look who's applying. Are you telling me that when she put her application in, that's when her vetting process happened? Are you telling me there's meetings with the governor that us, the people of Georgia, rural Georgia, that pulled his ass over the finish line against Stacey Abrams, which this woman has said is an aspiring woman? Are you telling me that there's meetings and interviews where Kemp has vetted her? Why did he have to run up? Why did he have to run up to Washington, D.C. in hopes to get President Trump's support? Why? I want to know, Mr. Governor, what did she tell you in the interview? Did she tell you she's pro-Trump? What did she tell you? Did she tell you that she would defend the President of the United States in the first of the year if the Senate goes into a trial, impeachment trial, that she'll defend the President of the United States? Did she? Did she tell you she would? Did she tell you she would end all ties with anything business or personal that gave $1 to Planned Parenthood? Did she? Did she tell you how she felt about red flag laws and if she was more of a Second Amendment supporter or a Pat Toomey, Pennsylvania supporter when it come to common sense gun legislation? Did she? What do we know? Is she pro-life? Is she pro-choice? Okay. Who is she? I want to stop hearing successful business. Well, great. I'm happy for her. Here's the bottom line, okay? And I'm going to move on because we're going to hit. Let me see if I got anything that I need to deal with. I got a couple of text messages here, and let's make sure there's nothing I have to deal with immediately. All right, so anyhow, we're going to have at 8:30, we're going to have Debbie Dooley's going to join us, number 5, okay? Debbie's going to join us, Tea Party, Atlanta Tea Party co-founder, activist. Now, Debbie and I have been on the opposite side of issues. We have. We've agreed to disagree, whether you like that term or not. We have. But on this one, we're on the same page, and she has done a lot of background work, as she has written several articles for Breitbart that she will bring up. She's going to be on with us at 8:30, and we're going to talk about this. Mr. Governor, let's go back to number 1. What happened? You fly up to D.C. and try to tell Donald Trump, hey, I'm not going to go with your pick. I'm not going to go with your recommendation. This is who I'm going with. Really? So Governor Brian Kemp is actually looking at 2022 and what's best for him, and not rural Georgia, because I'm going to tell you something. A country club Republican. Now, let me say one or two things about Doug Collins, number 7. I go on social media and read comments because I want to zero in on what everybody's saying, okay? And I've read the negatives on Collins on comments and the positives and this, that, and the other thing. There's a couple things I want to tell you. Some people are not going to be happy with this comment, but then again, that wouldn't be me if I said something that I knew you were going to be happy with. I know the congressman as well as anybody. Give you a minute to let that absorb. I know the congressman as well as anybody. Now, you understand I said congressman, not Doug Collins. I mean, there's Doug Collins, Georgia Senator Doug Collins, and there's Doug Collins that bagged groceries in Gainesville to work his way through college. And there's Doug Collins that cut grass as a kid, all that. And I'm not hyping the guy. I don't know that Doug Collins. I know Congressman Doug Collins. I know this. I know he was elected under Barack Obama's administration. I know he was congressman his first terms under Boehner and Paul Ryan. I know he served on committees. Okay, he was served on committees that he was not able to get subpoenas. You see, you hear subpoena, you never heard that out of the Republicans. Why did the Republicans in 2 years not do what they had to do? Because when guys like this and guys like Jim Jordan and guys like Nunes wanted a subpoena, and guys like Trey Gowdy, they couldn't get a subpoena. Paul Ryan wouldn't sign off on them. So for those of you that feel he went up there and he got in with the elite and he got in with the lockstep with this one and that one, he positioned himself knowing Paul Ryan would be leaving. He positioned himself knowing, not knowing they would lose the House, but he positioned himself knowing that when Donald Trump was elected, the American people said overall, the Paul Ryan type Republicans need to go. And he knew it. But what he did do, he made sure at all times he positioned himself and elevated himself and got to where he could do what? Defend the President of the United States. It's hard on the House side. It's easy on the Senate. On the Senate, you're in a majority, so it's easy to come out to the cameras. On the House side, you're in the minority, and you have to fight and chew and claw to get anything in these committees because the Democrats are not allowing them any power whatsoever or any ability to subpoena or do anything. no matter what the media tells you. So that's what I know. I know every question I've asked Governor Kemp, did you vet, did you review, did you look at Kelly Loeffler? I know every one of those questions we have an answer to. Now, you may not like them. Not him, the answers to the questions. You may say, I dislike or I wouldn't appoint Collins because of X. But there's something you can point to. There's something you can point to. And that's what I don't understand. And when the President of the United States asks you to go with this congressman to help him continue the battle that we elected the president to do, and continue the battle that we elected the president to do, and anticipated that we elected a governor to help, and then you go suburban Atlanta country club Republican woman? Really? All right. So you know what? I've got to, I don't want to take a break. I'm not ready yet. Okay. So we'll see. Like I said, in a couple minutes, we're going to have Debbie on. So we got a couple minutes. Let's go to the coffee cup there, Destiny. Let's go to the coffee cup. Here we go. Merry Christmas, FYN. We're a Merry Christmas kind of place. I want to give you one of these for free. 706-889-9700. I want to say, I always say, Graphic Expressions. They made this cup for me with our new logo on our sweatshirt this morning. And we just love it, and I want to share it with you. So you got to text 706-889-9700. Merry Christmas, FYN, BKP, staff, whatever. But it's got to have Merry Christmas, FYN in it. And we're going to send you one, no shipping and handling. That's our cup. What else we got going on? Let's go to here. I want to say this before we go to our break and get our guest on, okay? Give me number 11. What about the turnout last night in Florida to welcome home for the holidays Florida's newest resident, none other than number 12, the big guy? I mean, Trump rolls right into home. He is now considered a legal resident of the state of Florida. He said, Bloomberg, what's the other guy's name? The mayor of New York. I tried to forget it, so it's working. He said, forget New York. I don't live there anymore. I live in Florida. I'm a resident of Florida. It's time to retire and go to Florida. And they gave him, it was an awesome rally. Hello, Ron DeSantis. Now, there's a governor in Florida that I think gets it. I think he gets it. Governor in Florida gets it. I'll tell you what, I'm just thinking out of the box. I hope it doesn't come to this, but I hope Brian Kemp doesn't pick this lady, and then the next thing we know, after he picks her, okay, that Collins runs and Trump comes and does a rally for him. What would that be like? Don't say it wouldn't happen. Listen, you and I have witnessed the President of the United States doing rallies in Republican primaries that is usually unheard of. All right? He did it with Ron DeSantis, right? The governor down there in Florida. He will get in a primary. And he may do it, so we don't want to mess that up. So before we go to break, we got to just a couple minutes here before we go to break. Number 4, we're going to talk about this later in the show. Philadelphia voting machines challenged in federal court. That is a Associated Press. Is that who they are? But anyhow, they're being challenged in federal court. Now, I was in Pennsylvania on their election day, and they have new machines, just like Georgia has new machines, just like a lot of states have new machines. You see, I am not going to say the old machines were great, But don't think for 1 minute that there's not something going on with all of the states have been talked into getting new machines. You know what? 17% of the vote for the 2020 election in Pennsylvania was affected by these new voting machines and inaccurate counts. It's a good article. We're going to get into it on the show. And then we always have to show you why not. Perfect day, number 6. There's Conan. And that's the look on his face when he said, "Ma, I'm at the White House. I took down al-Baghdadi. I'm the guy. I'm the pooch." And that was him this week. So I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, number 5 there, Debbie Dooley, will be on the line with us because we're going to break down what's happening. I'm in the 9th District. Okay. Rural Georgia, Brian Kemp, you have to have rural Georgia to get over the line. Take us a break.